The bigger the vision you have with your business, the more help you need. And the key with help is a lot of times people call themselves an entrepreneur, but you're doing the paperwork, the calls, the follow-up, the email, the checking on the client, everything you're doing, that doesn't make you an entrepreneur. You're an independent contractor, maybe at best a salesperson. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 4 different types of assistants to hire, depending on the phase you're at, 10 things to know before you hire them, and 5 things you will never learn until you work with them. So by the time you're done watching this video, there's going to be 2 other things I'm going to give you. One, I'll give you the PDF from today's notes. The second thing is how for you to actually pay your employees. That'll be another video I'll give you. But anyways, having said that, let's get right into it. There are 4 types of assistants you hire depending on the phase of your business you're currently in. Meaning, if you're a startup and you're just getting started, you just need somebody to be a runner for you. Hey, can you go get that thing for me? Hey, can you send this email for me? Hey, can you go drop my car off for me? Can you pick up my clothes? It's a runner. It's somebody that's just freeing up your time so you can do what you want to do. Can you tell them I'll be late 5 minutes? Can you tell them I'm going to call them in a few minutes? Can you set up this conference call? Very basic. Lowest level is runner. The lower the level, the lower you pay them. Next, admin. Somebody who's admin, meaning you teach them how to do the paperwork. You're a lawyer, you're going to learn some basic stuff they need to fill out. You're a financial person, some real estate, digital marketing, whatever you're doing. Somebody that's admin is above a runner. Obviously, to an admin, you're not going to tell them, go run this for me, go run that for me. Admin's going to be a little bit more clear. They know how to write. They're clear about writing emails. They know how to do Excel. They know how to run certain reports. They know a little bit more about Outlook, those types of things than a regular runner would do. Again, admin is going to cost you more than a runner. Then you have an executive assistant. An executive assistant is in their own world an executive, right? In their own world. They are doing more than the usual. They are negotiating on your behalf. They are calling people and filtering them out. They know your wiring. They know what you like. They know what you don't like. They know your time. They know what relationships you're not going to be doing anything with because they have a filter for it, right? That is your executive assistant. They are hired to pay. And then last but not least is your chief of staff. You may have a chief of staff that has 3 assistants reporting to the chief of staff, and your chief of staff has a runner, an admin, and an executive assistant, and that's your chief of staff. So you may have all 4, but your chief of staff is telling what the executive assistant to do, telling what the admin to do, telling what the runner to do, because they are very busy. Now, at this point with chief of staff, they are handling your money, they are handling more things, they are doing above and beyond negotiation deals. Maybe if the executive assistant has a spending budget of a certain amount, the chief of staff's going to be higher. The chief of staff has the authority to make certain decisions that are a higher pay grade than somebody like an executive assistant. So again, having said that, this isn't just, hey, how do I get my own assistant? I don't know how big your business is. I don't know how many employees you have. I don't know how many salespeople you have. I don't know how big your board is. I don't know how much revenues you're doing. If you're doing $100 million, you can't just get a runner. If you're doing $500,000, you can't go get a chief of staff. So you have to know exactly what phase you're at before you hire your assistant. So hopefully this gives you a different lens, knowing what you need today and projecting what you may need next. So you have to start envisioning, I would love to one day have my own chief of staff. Great, but no, it's going to be a lot more money as well. So that leads me 10 things to know. Number 1, hire the pay, hire the value, hire the experience. Very clear. So you got to get clear on who you're looking for. And the criteria you put up there, you can't say I want a chief of staff, but you want to pay him $15 an hour. It just doesn't go that way, right? You can't say you want an executive assistant, you want to pay him $20 an hour. It doesn't go that way. If you're getting somebody that more value, more experience, you're going to have to pay more money. So you have to ask yourself, what can I afford today? What do we need today? Is this really the best investment for us to make today? If it is, then you're clear with exactly what you're looking for. Number 2, secretary to me, when I hire somebody, every one of these, in a way, is in the category of a secretary. Now, obviously, some people don't like to be called secretary because it's old. But the thing I like about the word secretary is the first 5 or 6 letters. Secret. Your job as a runner, admin, executive assistant, or chief of staff, I would have my executive assistant or admin watch this video to know what the expectation is. The job of any one of these is you're going to be in meetings where you're going to see stuff, hear stuff, the next project, the next investment, the next strategy, the next person, the next enemy, the next whatever it is that you're working. You will be part of secret conversations that nobody else will be. So you need to be able to keep secrets. This is why I put this big thing here, loose lips. If there's anything, if there is a single glimpse I get of loose lips, fired. A single glimpse of loose lips I get in this area, you're fired. Because you are going to know my health. If I have doctor's appointments, if I have financial, if I have, hey, I'm going to go see the doctor for what? I'm going to go see the doctor for such and such. That's nobody's business. That's you and I. I am opening up my life to you if you become someone's assistant or executive assistant. So secretary equals secrets. Number 3, not scared of you. When you're hiring somebody, you don't want somebody that's scared of you because they're always timid. They're never able to tell you, hey, I don't know if this is somebody we should do business with. I didn't get a good feeling about this person here. You know, that thing we sat down here, Pat, I just don't think it's the time right now for you to do this because look at the 5 things we have going on. Honestly, which of these 5 things is priority? These 3 things, can we just set aside these 2 for next week? I feel like this is a week that we have a lot of things to do. We need to set this aside for next week. Fine, no problem. A person that's scared will never tell you that. I don't want somebody to be scared. I want somebody to see the stuff that I'm not seeing. Maybe I have blind spots, and this person's going to catch it and say, Pat, these 2, let's set it aside for next week. Somebody who's not scared will tell you that. Number 4, great on the phones, pleasant voice. Why? Because a lot of things is going to be talking to other people. You're a handler. You're going to handle guests, appointments, sales, negotiation. You need to have a pleasant voice. I'm always listening to the voice to see if it's a pleasant voice to be on the phone. There's some people that are frightened of the phones. This is not a position if somebody's afraid of the phones. Number 5, protective and proactive. You're protecting me. You're protecting the executive. You're protecting the CEO. You're protecting the CFO you're working for. You're very protective, yet proactive at the same time. Hey, I don't know about this, but let's think about doing this. Hey, I was looking at this, and I think it's important for us to do this. Hey, I noticed last week when you were doing this, do you want to go see the doctor? Should I get you the dentist appointment? Proactive. Say, when's the last time you saw the dentist? Hey, when's the last time you went and called this person? Hey, you may want to call that person. It's their birthday coming up tomorrow. It's their anniversary. Proactive. That person's wedding's coming up. This person's birthday's coming up. That person said, do you want me to send them a gift? Hey, your wedding anniversary's coming up. Hey, it's your dad's birthday. Proactive, protective, all both at the same time. Number 6, negotiation for me. If you work with me for a long time, if there's one requirement I have for you working with me is you have to learn how to negotiate, period. And especially if you move up more in the company. No one in our company will become a C-type executive if they don't know how to negotiate. Nobody. And let me tell you how I typically teach negotiation. There is negotiation teaching you by saying, here's the 17 things to do when you negotiate. And I need you to become a better negotiator. And that's fine because you're teaching people how to become a negotiator. The best way to teach negotiation is to actually negotiate. Best way. One of my best negotiators in the company that I have right now, somebody that's about to be the chief of staff here soon, and she has seen me negotiate a few hundred times. And so she now does it. I listen to every time if we have a big deal, we're spending a lot of money, I'll say, has it ran through her yet? No, she needs to make the final call. She'll make the call and she'll come up to me and say, Pat, this is going to cost us $728,000. Have you checked everything? Pat, I've checked everything. It was this, it was this, it was this, it was this. I brought this and I brought this and I brought this and I brought this down. And if I say I'm not comfortable, I'll get on a call, then she said, Pat, I'm telling you, I've already asked that question. We can get on the call and we'll get on the call, not moving. Got it. She did the right thing, $728,000. But sometimes I'll have somebody that's coming up to me with something, oh, they said this is the final offer, today's the day. And I'll sit there and I say, today's the day. Today's the only day. Oh, it's the 31st. I know what the other person's doing. It's their closing. It's the closeout. Let me get them on the phone with them. I'll get them on the phone. Hey, John, listen, I understand it's the 31st. You're trying to move us to sign a deal right now. I hope you realize there's no way in the world I'm paying this price here. And I've already talked to, XYZ, and I've already talked to these guys. You are overcharging me by 30%. So if you want to get my deal today, here's what it is. And I understand it's closeout. So don't give me the sales script. I need you to talk to your sales manager, come up with the final price because I'm not renegotiating. The next number you give me, it's either going to be a yes or it's going to be a hard no. But if you come to me with another number that I'm having to renegotiate again, I'm hanging up the phone. I don't have time for that. So all of a sudden the other person sees it. They're getting a little bit, say, oh, okay, I got it. I understand how this works. Wow, this is a little bit tougher than I thought. Then they learn and pick up, and they either do or they don't. But all of these 4, at the lowest level to the highest level, they need to learn how to negotiate on your behalf. Next, seek every outlet possible to find an assistant. It's not just, let me put a job application on ZipRecruiter or Jobs.com or Monster. Nope. All your contacts, all your associations, all your friends, all your coworkers, any board you're sitting on, anybody you know. I am looking for an executive assistant. Scream it off the top of your lungs. I am looking for an executive assistant. Matter of fact, I am always looking for an executive assistant. Always looking for an executive assistant. If you know somebody, or if you yourself are somebody who has 5 years of experience as an executive assistant, send us a text to 747-260-8461. Notice what I just did? I just told you I'm looking for an executive assistant. You do that all the time until you find a person you're looking for. By the way, the reason why I'm looking for an executive assistant is because my executive assistant keep getting promoted. Everybody that starts with me as an admin, they typically end up growing. One of my assistants is now about to become a chief of staff. That's a whole different kind of a salary, equity position, different types of things. But I'm looking for an executive assistant right now. So you make sure you tell everybody about the fact that you're looking for an assistant. Number 8, take your time and hire in twos. Take your time and hire in twos. The bigger the company, the more important it is who you hire. Listen, I have a lot of assistants right now. But to hire the person I'm looking for is going to take a little bit more time. And I'll typically hire in twos. The reason why I hire in twos is because I'll bring 2 people and I'll see, okay, this person works in this place. And I'll explain to you why, because 5 things I can't learn from them until I hire them. But I'll hire in twos. And yes, for a few months, I'm paying double the salary. But 60, 90 days later, I'm keeping the person that I'm more impressed with. And the other person, I send them off and say, this is just not going to work out for you. I keep one person. It's almost like a tryout. One person's hired, the other person's fired. Number 8, I talk about take your time. Number 9, filter through your executive team, meaning whoever you're hiring, let your executive team filter them out. Let them sit with them. Pat, I don't know if this is going to work because of this. Pat, I really like this person. 5 people came in. They get filtered out on one sitting. They're there for 20 minutes, one by one, they get filtered out. You know what? I like this person. I like that. What did you think about it? I like that person. I don't like this person because, you know what? I also like that person. Perfect. Now we set up a follow-up after them being filtered out by your team who knows how well you work with who, and you may have some blind spots that your executive team sees. And last but not least, number 10, communicate expectations clearly. One of the biggest challenges why an employee didn't work out with me over the years is because the expectations weren't communicated clearly. The more you communicate expectations clearly, the better you do and retention goes higher because everybody knows what is expected of them. Grab a sheet of paper and exactly right. These are my, no way in the world I'm willing to negotiate these 3. There's no way in the world this is going to work out. These are the 9 things I really like. These 6 things I'm okay with, but these are the things I want. Express that to your team, then create the proper ad, then post it, then make sure everybody knows that they're coming through, what your non-negotiables are, what the things you are that you're looking for, and what things you're willing to be a little bit more flexible with. All right, so 5 things you will not know about them until you work with them. You hire them, you did everything right, there's still 5 things you're not going to learn about them until you work with them. Number 1 is their ego, how they deal amongst other people, because you're not going to know them when you're hiring them. Number 2, how they handle pressure, okay, and how they perform under pressure. One of the best things is when there's a pressure taking place that leads to a crisis and you watch them. Wow, deadline, late. You know, we have to hit something. You know, something took place, a major crisis took place, an enemy, a issue that we have to address, a conference call, something's going on, and you kind of watch them. You say, oh my gosh, this person gets rattled. No way in the world this is going to work because we're in that kind of an environment where we're growing so fast. If you don't know how to handle crisis and pressure, this is just not the place for you. You're better for a Fortune 100 company where everything's pretty smooth, but you're not built for a startup. There are assistants that are built for startups and there are assistants that are built for Fortune 100, Fortune 500. You need to know who you're hiring for what season of company. Number 4, people skills, and number 5, initiative. You will not know those things until you hire them. So having said that, again, know what phase you're at when you're hiring an assistant, know these 10 things before you hire them, and know that even if you do it right, there's 5 things you will not know about them until you hire them. So having said that, there's a video I want you to watch. The video is titled, How to Pay Your Employees. Many times people ask me, Pat, how should I pay my employees? How should I pay my staff? How should I pay my executive? How should I pay my salespeople? Here's the video I did titled, How to Pay Your Employees. And the other one is, if you want the PDF of today's notes, text 747-260-8461. Again, 747-260-8461. And we'll send you back the PDF of today's episode. If you got any questions or thoughts, comment below. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, click on the subscribe button right here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.